Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Tuesday, the 16th of September. So we'll start off with the long to short ratio. Long to short ratio, we got up to 55% long last night. We're very, very slightly more longs in the market right now, and I do think if we see a drop, we might see a little bit further, a little bit more longs increasing in the market. So we are currently at about 52% long, 47.9% short. So it's nothing too crazy. We've obviously just seen longs increase slightly in this sort of like downwards sideways move in the last day, but nothing really too crazy to say on this. Let's just go to the hourly MDX data. Let me take this off as well. Yeah, so we nearly got the crossover. We're quite close. Just keep an eye on it. Nothing really too much to say. In terms of liquidity, quite similar to yesterday. We've got some stuff above us at 117 to 118. We are starting to fill out that little gap at 118.5 that we did have, which is quite interesting. From the stuff just above 116.8, that little that wick that we did yesterday, and in general we are failing the hourly volume node, which is about 115.7. So decent amount of resistance here, 115. Let's call it 115.8 to 116.7. This is an area potentially for a rejection, and we do have slightly more longs in the market, so just leaning slightly more towards a pullback, ever so slightly, but yeah, nothing too crazy. Let's just check the 2-week liquidations as well. Just make sure there's nothing else. We should actually check the max pain quickly just before rates. So yeah, as you can see on the two-week liquidations, we do have that pocket at 117 to 118 above us, but we have a lot of long liquidity to go for below, which is making it look quite tasty, to be honest. Let's go in the 1 week. 1 week short max pain 117.1, so that's very close to where we are. Long max pain 113, so quite a lot below us. Nothing too crazy. Let's just go on the 1 month quickly. Short max pain still 117, long max pain 113. So 117, 113. Keep those numbers in your mind. Those are the max pain for longs and shorts. Yes. And that will be the data, says. Add this window. Right, you can all see that. Get rid of Chrome. Save some of my CPU. Perfect. No lag. Literally 0 lag. Yeah, so Bitcoin, let's just turn this off. Let's go on the 4 hour. What are we doing? Not horizontal line, sorry about that. So we have a high about 116.5. We've got some overlapping resistance here. We have gained the weekly open, but we're currently finding some resistance on August. For me, if I turn this off, it kind of looks like a bearish retest at the moment. Sort of right here. We made a new low from here. So is that actually a sneaky close? Let me just check. Let's actually just check. Yeah, it is a sneaky close. So kind of looks like we're doing a bearish retest at the moment. We do have some hidden bull in the 4 hour. We have reset back to the 0 line. For me to long this, I want to see some gains, some concrete gains. Until right now, I'm leaning more towards short, just because we did this close below, and this is actually bearishly retesting at the moment. We also have rate cuts coming soon, slightly more longs in the market, a lot more liquidations down here than up here. Doesn't mean we can't like do a little pop and then do the failure today before the rate cut decision, but I do think we are going to get a dump in between tonight and into tomorrow. So I'm leaning more towards short at this moment in time. Obviously not financial advice. There's probably quite an easy stop, and it will probably just be like a gain of August. It might do that, and then we want to see a failure straight away. But yeah, that's where I'm at on Bitcoin. I also do have something quite interesting to look at. I've got these moon phases. And it seems like the phases don't really go. Anyway, well, actually, I'll talk about this at the end because this is kind of something extra. But I just found it quite interesting when I did a bit of analysis on that. So that's Bitcoin. I might take a hedge somewhere here. It seems quite like yeah. Anyway, ETH Bitcoin kind of doing nothing, just holding support around December, which is quite nice to see. We do have a bit of a bearish retest here. Whoops, let's just take these off actually. We do have a bit of a bearish retest from here. Nothing too crazy. We are actually getting oversold already, which is quite nice to see as we're coming down into support here. Nothing really too crazy to say on this. It's just still an uptrend, still kind of holding. Hidden ball in the daily. Do have some bearish divergence actually coming in. So, yeah, really not too much to say on this. We're just at support and still kind of in an uptrend. ETH, kind of doing the same thing as ETH Bitcoin. We've popped back above the all-time high weekly swing, but currently getting sold back down. I think this weekly close is going to tell us a lot. If we can't close above this, it's going to be looking a little bit knackered, to be honest, especially with this overbought dot on the weekly time frame. The daily needs to see some breakdowns from 427, like 427 to 425. If we're going to go all the way down, we have built in some nice support in between September and that level in here. So if we see a breakdown, then you're basically just looking to short the retest in here. Kind of like Bitcoin, but this is actually holding up a little bit better. We've got some cash flow in. Retail stablecoin demand looks okay. Kind of just retesting its level. Looks fine. Looks fine for now. Definitely could see a bit of a drop from the rate cut decision, but in terms of the chart, we need to break this level first. I think I will be taking a little bit of a hedge on Bitcoin just in case. Solana, it's already done the breakdown, to be honest. Whoops. Solana's done the breakdown. We've tested the Feb level quite nicely. We're currently above the daily open. We could see a bit more of a squeeze up into December than the weekly open, but I think, yeah, this looks like it wants to slightly go a bit lower. And if we're looking at the daily, I think the level to aim for is somewhere in here on the daily time frame. The 4 hour, we've obviously got levels to retest. We've got support in here. So let me just take all of these off. First support would be about 215, 216, call it that, anywhere in this area here. And the next one will be about like 202-ish. On the daily time frame, we do have the combination bands coming in just underneath September, in between September and the yearly open. Yearly open has been retested on the weekly and the daily time frame. So we're kind of looking for this area to hold if we do see like a more sustained breakdown like that. But yeah, it just looks like it wants to have a healthy pullback down to some of these levels in here. Gets reactive on the daily, bearish divergence on the retail stablecoin demand, local breakdowns, overbought. If we get that one move up from the retail stablecoin demand, it's kind of good to short as long as we don't gain anything. So let's just turn the 4 hour combination bands on. Yeah, we've been supported here. One more up, and then maybe a little failure. Just for the rate cuts. That's what I'm thinking. Would be quite nice. Then we can hold some of these levels after the rate cuts and get a nice weekly close. Hopefully. So let's have a look at PopCat on the 4 hour. Yeah, so we came down all the way down here, kind of retested some of this support. This is kind of similar to what level was it on Solana? This is kind of similar to coming down all the way to here on Solana to like 205. Go forward again. Looks a bit worse for wear Might, if we get a little bit of a pump today, see a bearish retest in this level and a little bit more down in support. But we kind of want September to hold. I feel like if we get a bounce here, it's really good for the market. We get a little bit of a bounce, maybe come up to here or like maybe even up here, and then do one more into September and support, and then do that. Whoa, what happened to my? That was really weird. Whoa, what's going on? Why can't I draw? Seems to be Wi-Fi problems. Okay, internet's gone down. I will stop. Oh, we're back. Are we back? We're back.
We will be back very soon.
Yo, Discord just nuked the shit out of me. Thank you, Zeus. Anyway, where were we? That was really annoying. Discord just nuked me. Yeah, what I was saying is, if we see a nice little grind up this week, potentially to the weekly open, maybe even a little bit higher, but I don't really want to go higher. Then for the rate cut decision, we'll get like a really nasty dump, and then we'll do like something like this, and then just take all that liquidity and then go. And then all my stink bids will be hit, and we'll just sail off into the sunset from next week. Sound good, yeah? Anyway, something with a little update on is Turbo. So I did get some orders hit in between sort of like 4 and 3.9, sort of this area. I'm looking for a little bit of a bounce here, maybe up to the weekly open in June. This is where I'm expecting there to be a failure because we have broken down. We made new lows from here, new lows. Rejection, one more down in September. So I'll be taking some of my position off there. And this is really where I want to bid. Probably around 2.9 to 3.9 to 3.7 ish. The audio is failing on my side. Glitching. Okay, let me leave. Speak. How about now? Should be better now. So Discord's being weird today. It just nuked me all of a sudden, and now we're getting weird volume, weird sound. But yeah, anyway, this would be really good for the market, and it would kind of knock everything down. We made a new low. We're gonna have a nice retest, little pump today, and then get a nice little sell in the news for the rate cut decision. Lovely. So yeah, in terms of other things, they're probably going to follow similar sort of patterns. So Doge, obviously overbought, getting the failure of the weekly open. If we go down to the 4 hour, right, this is currently failing its daily open. If it does sort of like grind up into the weekly, again, that's a decent area to potentially short, stop above here, to go further down into support. That's your first support zone. And then you obviously have probably a stewer pocket in here, from the daily as well. So yeah, that's also something that's quite good. Currently on the 4 hour combination, you might see a little bit of a bounce here. I wouldn't expect it to hold the second time at all. And if you look at the daily ones here, probably the 886 comes in maybe around here as well, maybe around there. So video is okay, just the audio, I'm not really sure. Hold on. Actually, hold on. Maybe because I took my thing off charge. Should be better now. Should be better now. So yeah, I want to see a little bit of a grind up today. Let's trap some longs, maybe like do some retests, and then a big dump tomorrow. I want to see some like scary shit, like, oh no, sell the news, and then just fill me order filled. So yeah, does anyone have anything specific to look at today? Are you eyeing up any coins over the next week that you want to get into for the last part of the year? Anything that looks particularly good, like for example Sui. This is what I'm kind of looking at on some stuff. Go to the daily. Have we made a new high? Yes. Trend has changed. Yes. Okay, that's good. Where are the lows? Down here. Okay. Go to the 4 hour. Have we done a little breakdown? Yes. From here. Are we potentially going to get a retest? Yes. That's the area. Now, when you come down, you're either going to do a higher low, or you're going to do a lower low back down into support. That kind of looks like it wants to go a little bit low on the 4 hour, maybe something like that. And that'll be it for the retest there. But yeah, if you were looking like at the end of last week, I think I remember I was doing I was streaming like Tuesday and Friday here. If you guys wanted to FOMO here, then your chance is definitely coming on the next one after the rate cuts, so you can get into some positions. Because I was saying don't FOMO last week, and not even I FOMO'd. I did not FOMO. Like, yeah, you could have maybe longed here and got a little 5-6%, but hey ho. That's me, yeah. That was you. I remember. You wanted to FOMO last week. Well, your chance is coming, mate. Your chance is definitely coming. I just want to see some really nasty fucking wick after the rate cut decision, and then either the daily or the next daily to close quite bullishly, and then the weekly will close quite nice, and then it will just be like, okay, we either like consolidate for a week, maybe do some like down grindy into support and some liquidations, and then, you know, by the end of September, start of October, we'll just like start blasting it off for like a month or maybe even 2 max, and then just bye, sell everything or sell most of it. So yeah, we are getting quite close to the turbo. Let's just turn all of this off. Maybe turn this off as well. We're getting quite close. So the ultimate turbo bottom will be like 3.8, and the 886 is about 3. Let's call it 3.7, 3.8. But even 39, 38 is pretty decent to bid, because we do have September, the previous weekly open, and support at about 3.8. So lots of support on this, and the daily is looking extremely good. Let's look at this on a higher time frame. Yeah. I didn't FOMO. Thank you. Save me. Oh, what competition did you win, bro? Let's go, mate. I almost never win competitions. Like, that's a weird thing. But sometimes I win bets. Anyway. Farcoin, yeah, kind of same, kind of like a similar thing happening on here as to, I can't remember the other one that we talked about. It might have been Popcat. Is we're hitting some support down here. Let me just draw a ray. Hitting some support down here. Probably going to see a little bit of a grind up, especially if we gain this daily open. If we gain this daily open, there's probably a scalp here. It's probably a nice scalp. Yeah, I think this is going to be a nice, nice decent scalp up to the weekly. About 5%. Not too bad, not too great. And then you're looking for a rejection in between here and here. And then it will look something like gain, come up to here, rejection, one more down into support, rate cut like here, one more down into support, some nasty wicks, and then yeah. That's what I'm looking for. I think I deserve it. I think I deserve it. What else have we got? Hype. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one because let me just sneeze one sec. Bodybuilding, shit. Let's go, man. My barber used to do that in Vegas. He used to go to Vegas and do the fucking shows and shit like that. But then he stopped because it was just too much work. You have to like water starve yourself and shit. But anyway, hype's a little bit of a weird one because we've completely bottomed on the 4-hour oscillators. But we are kind of in the price action. We're kind of doing this like weird. It looks like a grindy down like bull flag sort of thing, but we are actually bearishly retesting the weekly daily open. So if we can gain like and come up to here, come up to this one, and then do a bullish back test, then fine. We're gonna go a bit higher. But as of right now, I think this looks a little bit like it wants to come down at least to here, and then maybe like that into support. To be honest. So again, maybe a decent little short on this. If we can just grind up a little bit into here, do a bearish retest of there, then fail, that'd be nice to get a little entry. So watch out for that. That and Bitcoin, kind of similar. Well, not similar in price action, but yeah. They'd be looking for a little short on that as well. Let's quickly have a look at AVAX. AVAX is just doing really well. Sounds like a London boy scared of hard work. He's actually Greek and he's like 40. And it does sound long, like trying to prepare for a competition. Like the competitions are what, like once every 3-4 months, and you have to like do like a month before you have to eat like plain chicken and rice, and then like water starve yourself for like a week and shit. It's just long. Yeah, bro. What's the cheat meal? like a Five Guys or some shit. 2 burgers. And chicken wings. So yeah, AVAX looks actually pretty good. Gained his weekly open. Let's go down to the hourly. See, it's a little bit better. Yep, support down here. Actually didn't close below. Bounce, nice bullish back test. Back up, made a new high actually. And then gained the weekly open probably on the 4-hour candle, because that is 1, 2, 3, 4 candles. So kind of gained it on a 4-hour candle. And then had a little bounce. So this looks pretty good. But not really any opportunity to get into some sort of position here, to be honest. You might get a retest of the daily and then one more pump up to the highs. But I'll be a little bit cautious just because of the rate cuts as well. This actually looks decent, doesn't it? Take that off. Take this off. Hasn't done a retest yet, which is kind of worrying me. It looks a little bit like it's kind of like doing this thing where it's going to go like a tiny bit higher, then just do that on AVAX. So yeah, I'll be waiting for a little bit low on that, but there's not really any levels to short just here, if I'm being honest. I haven't celebrated yet because I'll be doing nationals in 3 weeks. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. It's always like, there's always nationals and there's always like, I've got to do this. Yeah. Have you guys seen when bodybuilders order like 10 donuts and press them together into a massive ball? Yeah, I actually have. Just to get their calories in. Yo, that gif is crazy. That's not real, is it? Is that real? That can't be a real burger. That's a whole fucking cow, bro. Anyway, back to the charts. Back to the charts. What are we looking at over here? Injective's another one that actually could be a little bit decent for some scalps. So, yeah, we got some hourly bullish divergence over here. Did the nice bullish retest with a wick. Actually closed the candle below this, above this high. Bullish retest of the daily open. You might go up and see the weekly in here, where you'd be expecting a rejection from here, and then one more down into support here into September for the rate cut. That'd be quite nice. Just fill my longs all the way across here, please. And then yeah, that's actually not looking too bad. There's very, very clear levels on the objective. You know, low structure, new high, high structure we failed from the weekly open, support, bang, bang, bang. I like that. I like that a lot. I do enjoy that. Did we have a look at Pepe? Kind of briefly. It kind of just looks like, yeah. Looks like it's going to test Q4. If we get some closes below here, I'm expecting that. This has already done actually quite a decent dump from the highs. About 16%. Could do a little bit more though. How much would this be? If this would be 30%, then it's looking about perfect. 20, yeah, 25 to the lows. Definitely. I can definitely see that. Larry Wills is hilarious. You guys got to follow him. I want a burger like that, man. Jeez. But yeah, in general, it's kind of just waiting mode. Let's see how tomorrow goes with the rate cut decision, and I might try to catch a couple little shorts today if we grind up a tiny bit higher towards the weekly opens. And then the day after the rate cut decision, we're gonna have a little bit more clarity on the market. And yeah, in general, I'm expecting a bigger down move tomorrow in Thursday. So yeah, a bit of a red week this week. And yeah, if anyone has any coin that they want to talk about, feel free to slap it in the chat. Any trades that you're specifically looking at, for example, yeah, Solana. Solana's a good one potentially to potentially short. Bitcoin's a good one to potentially short. And if we get some like grindy up on a few others, like Injective, yeah, Injective. Maybe Fartcoin. They could also be a little bit good to short as well, just for a further move down tomorrow. But only if we do some sort of like that, and then I wake up tomorrow and we're back up here. Then yeah, I'll take a short. Too unhealthy. Morpho per, yes. Do you have anything special to say about Bitcoin? Came a bit late. Yeah, I'm just expecting a further down move tomorrow for the rate cuts. Price action looks a bit janky right now. We have done a breakdown here. We've broke this. That was a sneaky close below. So now what do we need to do? We need to regain the structure. For me, I think it's going to be like that. If we can't gain that, I just think we're going to go further down. There's also slightly more longs in the market, and the rate cut decisions tomorrow is probably going to be a sell news. So I'm just looking more down in general. Even if this just goes like that, it just doesn't really make a difference. I just think, yeah, we're right up at resistance as well now. Like this is pretty heavy resistance. I've actually also got the low of this structure from down here, so like it's probably more like that as well. Well, actually maybe not, but anyway, yeah. Morpho per. Okay, let's do these and then yeah, so Morpho's right on its September level. This is kind of what we need to hold. If I'm looking at this without AI charting tools, it looks like, what have we done? We've done a lower low and we failed to gain the high. So it looks a little bit more bearish in the near term. And by that, I just mean from here. If you look at this price action here, we have a new low and a lower high from this resistance. This is resistance back down from here. So yeah, it's just looking a little bit neither here nor there on the daily time frame. The 4 hour, we're at support. We're at support on the 4 hour. We are overbought. Sorry, oversold. And yeah, you might see a little bit of a bounce if you gain this daily open. You might chug all the way up to the weekly or maybe even March. But that would actually kind of be a stuber, wouldn't it? Because I guess on the 4 hour we actually did make a new high from here. And we're on the 786 right here. Yeah, there might be a decent little long trade here actually, just in the short term. More of a scalp, but you've obviously got these are lows you don't want to hold now. You want to gain the daily open, which we did do 1 hour close above here. You want to gain this on the 4 hour, and then you're going to go up to the weekly. Easy. Not really the best kind of RR though, to be honest. But yeah, I think like just with anything, maybe a little grind up today and tomorrow, and then maybe a further drop down for the rate cut decision. Looks a bit weird, to be honest. Per 2. Yeah, per looks a little better. This does look a little bit better. We've currently just lost the daily weekly open though, so you might see a little bit more of a down move now. But when we come back down into let's call it August, this is heavy support down here. You might see a little bit of a bounce up to there. This actually looks quite interesting. It's on the 12 hour. Yeah, I like that weekly open in August. I like this level for potentially filling a bid or holding. I actually quite like that. It's looking good. It might actually do something really nasty like this. Like you feel like you've hit support. Like chugs up, it just fails, and then it cleans all of that out. It does that. It just like literally cleans everything. Just because like we're probably going to get some volatility tomorrow, and I expect that more to be more towards the downside, just because of the whole like we've been pricing it in. It's not really going to be too crazy, and then yeah. So I'm going to stop my recording